CEID is what drew me to BU, and what stood out to me about CEID was that I felt like CEID was uniquely positioned to conduct research that aligned with all of my research interests, which range from infectious disease modeling, epidemiology, clinical infection prevention, various pathogens, viruses, multi-drug resistant organisms.
What you are doing here at CEID is so important, and it's such a reflection of BU's commitment to supporting projects that positively impact the world. This center is tackling the threat of emerging epidemic infectious diseases worldwide, and it's doing it so in such an innovative and cross-disciplinary way.
BU has been such a great partner with and to the Museum of Science, and CEID has really been there right from the beginning.
At the end of the day, diseases like COVID-19 don't care about borders. This is a global fight and that we have to care about. So thank you to Dr. Bedelia and BU for addressing this global challenge. I know this is going to be an interesting format, and I'm so glad there's important work being done at my alma mater, Boston University.
This was my first time really learning the research process as an undergraduate, which was a really awesome experience. And I completely fell in love with research. I had this idea for myself that I was going to do an industry career where I would be a communications specialist or a manager in health communication, but I started to see an alternative path where I could continue on into academia and really study health communication and health misinformation more in depth. And now I'm actually in a master's program at the University of Delaware where I'm studying health communication and misinformation. And so much of the reason why I'm here today and I have the skills that I have is because of my days back in CEID with Dr. Hong and Dr. Wirtz.
So my work studies the impact of ventilation on the transmission potential of respiratory pathogens, specifically influenza and COVID. And we're also particularly interested in the influence of climate change on human behavior, such as the adoption of air conditioning and spending time in poorly ventilated indoor spaces, and what that the effects might be on the transmission of respiratory pathogens. And this has important implications, particularly in South Asia, where we conducted our research, given that climate change is impacting the frequency and severity of severe heat waves, as well as increasing the adoption of air conditioning. So we anticipate that individuals will spend more time in poorly ventilated indoor settings using air conditioning, particularly in settings where there might be multiple members in one household or in a kind of a crowded office environment. And that can have specific significant implications for transmission of respiratory pathogens in the near future.
What CEID has taught me is how to bridge the gap between complex data science and social science research. So it gave me a toolkit, not only to be a researcher, but also an advocate for health equity and also public health in general.
What makes CEID very unique compared to other centers is its deeply collaborative and interdisciplinary nature. As an economist, I normally work with people in my own field, economics. But CEID gave me the chance to work with people from other walks, including communication, data science, and more.
Beyond the papers, the mentorships, and also the environment at CEID were instrumental for my own career path.
I'd like to start, though, by just giving huge credit to Naheed and Bob for the leadership that you've shown over the last many months, all hours of the day, to get to where Beacon is today. It's been an extraordinary leadership effort and one that's been incredibly inclusive, open-minded, and I'm sure that sets the spirit going forward.
We got this money for my project where we want to answer this question, like how life stages, like people in different life stages have impact on like different mosquito-borne diseases. So the mosquito-borne diseases are majorly impacting the children under 5-year-old, and we all know that those children are like at a high risk of these diseases, and because they are more vulnerable to these diseases. The major question our lab is trying to focus is like how mosquitoes find humans to bite, and through mosquito uses the system, like their olfactory system is the main thing that they use to humans to bite, and human also vary a lot in their composition of body odor. So there is a thing that we all know that, okay, infants, like small children, they smell different as compared to the adults. So with my research, I want to see and ask this question, like, because they are more impacted by mosquito-borne diseases, if it's their odor which is making them seem different to the mosquitoes, and they are like more attracting towards them in the wild, and that's why they are like more prone to mosquitoes bite or not.
Because we're using AI, specifically because we're using these text input, text output language models, we're able to ask more nuanced questions of data than we would have been able to 5 or 6 years ago. Moreover, we can ask for a detailed explanation. So for our data collection, we don't just ask, what are the labels? We say, why did you give it these labels? And it gives a more complex justification. Why it decided to just label it this as, pro-vaccine, why this is anti-vaccine. So it's more interpretable, to use the buzzword.
Something that I have observed is that a lot of research centers, they kind of, in terms of clinical infectious disease research and policy-related research, they do one or the other really well. But a unique aspect of CEID is that the research of CEID is really able to tie those two together and examine how infectious disease research translates into policy.
The center has been really instrumental in our work over the last 4 or 5 years in the Massachusetts legislature. Always a phone call away to help provide context for myself and my colleagues, and also the general public. They have appeared behind closed doors to brief members of the legislature on an emerging threat or to give context to why things are happening a particular way. And Nahid and her team have also provided public testimony at hearings, public health hearings, regarding the pandemic, Mpox, avian flu, childhood vaccines, to name a few.
It is a gift to be here also among so many people who are committed to doing something about the challenges we face in infectious diseases. And that's just a smaller part of this larger question about how we're going to look at reality itself. The great challenge is, will we look at reality as embedded with hope, or will we look at reality through ideological lenses? So the connections with BU are strong, so science looks for answers for sure, but science at its best is also what's here. Science at its best is also the building of community.
I've also come to know the center through its work in convening thought leaders from around the nation and around the world, whether it's a look back at Mpox and how that was handled successfully, or things that we need to consider as decision makers in government, in private industry. Hearing from those thought leaders that Nahid has in her Rolodex and can call and they'll show up for her, it's pretty amazing.
We are in an era of information overload, and the ability to have sites, including Beacon, that can then synthesize that information, make it available, make it accessible, freely available to everybody so that everybody has access to it, I think is one of the most important features if we're going to actually address the ability to respond quicker to the future inevitable epidemics and pandemics. And of course, Beacon establishing itself now in this time of relatively or very fractured world, where the world is being pulled apart, as Bob said earlier, is an absolutely critical time.
The idea of melding artificial intelligence with human subject matter experts was a unique and very attractive concept. Artificial intelligence has many strengths, and we see that every day. We use AI tools, but it also has weaknesses. Humans I think, play an important role that artificial intelligence still lacks and may always lack. So I think that this idea of using AI to be a broad discoverer and miner of information, coupled with human expertise, particularly with those who have experience in the field of emerging infectious diseases, is really powerful. And that was what led me and some of my colleagues to want to work with Beacon.
I think this work is extremely important because growing up in Nigeria and experiencing the Ebola outbreak firsthand, I just saw how important public health and effective public health communications was, and just how impactful it is to see how experts in the field are able to break down information and effectively communicate it to people who have little to no prior understanding of infectious diseases.
I think the most exciting part for me for my project is the cause for it. Like always, doing the research, and whenever I'm preparing for presentation, I see all those cases, I plan all those reports, and it's the cause that is very close to my heart, that you can make something which can help these children. And I just feel if somebody believes in that cause too, these kind of funding sources, I think it's always motivating moving forward.
And thank you for the work you do to protect our communities and our world. I'm honored to be working and fighting alongside all of you. Let's get to work. You're doing God's work here on earth to protect all of the creation that has been given to us, and we must pass it on better than we found it.